Welcome to Sunday School for Sunday, December 28th, 2025, for our junior students, ages 9 to 11. I do not own the rights to this music. Today's Bible basis is coming out of Matthew chapter 23, verses 2 through 12, Mark chapter 12, verses 38 through 44. The title of today's story, Genuinely Given. Serena was prepared for the nightly ritual of returning home from work. Typically, she was met at the door by some sort of sibling chaos between her two sons, Rob and Tony. Tonight, to her surprise, she was greeted at the door with total silence, and the house was in complete order and maybe even a bit tidier than she had left it that morning. Might Rob and Tony actually have cleaned up instead of messed up? She thought she smelled some sort of Italian pasta dish cooking. Something was up. Rob, Tony, Serena called out. Within minutes, both her boys rushed into the living room. Rob was carrying her best house slippers. Tony held a tall glass of pink lemonade, her favorite. "What is going on?" Serena asked, shaking her head in disbelief. "Have a seat, Mom," said Rob, ushering her to the easy chair. He proceeded to replace her high heels with the soft slippers. Tony presented her with a glass of pink lemonade. "Just relax. Dinner will be ready soon." Dinner? Serena just could not believe what she was hearing, seeing, or smelling. What's going on? They both looked at each other, then back at her, smiling. "We just love you, Mom," Rob said, turning on the TV to the evening news. "I love you too," said Serena. "This is all real smooth, but it's not normal behavior. What are you all up to? What do you want? Or worse yet, what have you done? Why is Serena so suspicious of her son's royal treatment? Could their gift of hospitality be genuine, or might it be a setup for something else? Have you ever been guilty of giving or doing something just to get what you wanted or to make up for something you'd done wrong? Jesus scolded the Pharisees for not being genuine in their religious responsibilities and services. They had a reputation for setting things up for their own personal gain and glory. Usually what they did was for the benefit of their own reputation and recognition. It was all about them when it should have been all about God and for His glory and honor. Matthew 23 verses 2 through 12, saying, "The scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All whatsoever they bid you, observe. That observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. For they bind heavy burdens, and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders. But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do for it to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries, and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts, and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ. And all ye are brethren, and call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted." Humility shifts attention from ourselves to others, allowing us to give preference to the needs of those around us. The Pharisees also lacked this attribute. Mark chapter 12 verses 38 through 44. "And he said unto them in his doctrine, Beware of the scribes, which love to go in long clothing, and love salutations in the marketplaces, and the chief seats in the synagogues, and the uppermost rooms at feasts, which devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. These shall receive greater damnation. And Jesus sat over against the treasury, and beheld how the people cast money into treasury, and many that were rich cast in much. And there came a certain poor widow, and she threw in 2 mites, which make a farthing. And he called unto him his disciples, and saith unto them, Verily I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which have cast into the treasury. For all they did cast in of their abundance, but she of her want did cast in all that she had, even all her living. The widow seemed to give the least, yet it ended up being the most, because it came from the fullness of her heart. Thereby her genuine gift proved to be a true sacrifice, and a more generous gift than what the rich men gave." The memory verse. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. From Matthew 23, verse 12. Consider the Bible learning story today. Decide whether you think Rob and Tony were sincere or covering for something wrong they had done. Continue the story on a sheet of paper, answering what else they might have done and how their mom would have felt. Is there a ministry in your church that has changed your life or the life of someone close to you? How about planning to give a special offering to help this ministry continue to grow and help others? You can share what ministry you have chosen next week. The end. God bless you and thank you for joining me today.